Welcome to Susie's Bakery. By request from Kelsey, I am making no-bake cookies. Today in the kitchen I have some other things going, so I just want, if you see me coming over and stirring this, I'm making split pea soup. So if you see me coming and stirring this, that's what I'm doing. And I also have some bread over here, it's rising. There it is. That's going to be tucked over here. The very first thing, by the way, I am using this cookbook, Stolfus Family Cookbook. My dear friend Esther, Glenn and Esther gave it to me as a wedding gift. And I like their recipe, no-bake chocolate fudge cookies. And the first thing we have to do is boil sugar, milk, butter, and cocoa for 1.5 minutes. And the trick to making good no-bake cookies that stick together is boiling this mixture for the appropriate amount of time. So we're going to start with 1 stick of butter. First, let me turn this on here. We have 1 stick of butter. We have Kate's homemade butter. That's a farm fresh butter from Maine. And let me get us something to stir. I'm going to use both of these. I've got half a stick of butter. Then I'm going to need 2 cups of sugar. And I pre-measured some of my stuff. Here's 2 cups of sugar. This is not a skinny recipe. And half a cup of milk. I did not measure that out yet. It's a 1/4 cup measure, so I'll use 2 of these. 1/4 and half. So, and then I'm going to need 3 to 4 tablespoons of cocoa. I have Hershey's dark chocolate. 1, kind of doing rounded teaspoons. 3 and 4. Okay, so now what they tell you to do is mix this up and let it melt. And then it needs to boil for 1 minute to 1.5 minutes. I'm going to be on the safe side, boil it for almost 2 minutes. But first we got to get all melted first. And you don't start the timer until it's a rolling boil. And I'll show you what a rolling boil is. Then I'm going to come over here and stir my soup. I'm missing the lid for my pan, that's why there's a plate over it. We can see it. Stick of butter, and it's not melted yet. So we're just waiting for that to melt. It's going to take a few minutes, and I'll come back and show you when it's a rolling boil. Now some people are going to ask me, how are you making bread and split pea soup and cookies? Well, the secret is I put the baby down for a nap. And the older kids are doing their math, and Samson is watching Thomas the Train. So that's my secret right there. Nothing special. And I don't bake like this every day. It happens once a week. I make bread once a week, and however long that bread lasts is how it lasts. And for the rest of the week we use store-bought bread. And I'm just making this soup. This is the first time I've made this soup. I wanted to try out some new stuff, some new recipes. I put hot dogs in it, so the kids would enjoy that. It's turning out very lovely. I'm going to turn it down though. The butter's almost melted. It's not boiling yet, but it's going to be boiling soon. So I'm going to keep the camera right here. You have milk in here and sugar and stuff, so you want to make sure you're continually stirring it. And in the meantime, you want to have all of your other ingredients ready because this is really timely. The recipe calls for 2.5 to 3 cups of oats. I always add more. I have 4 cups here. I'm not going to put them all in when it's time, but I'm going to put about 3 cups in, and if I need to, I'll put more to make this liquid evenly coated. I have half a cup of chunky peanut butter. I'm going to measure up my vanilla. The recipe calls for either coconuts or extra nuts. I'm not going to add the extra nuts or the coconuts because I'm probably going to bring these cookies to a Bible study tonight, and I know that some people don't like coconuts, and I want to save my nuts for something else. So I'm just going to use the peanut butter. Okay, this is getting close. It's starting. That's the start of a rolling. A rolling boil is when it's boiling even when you're stirring it. See, it's getting there. It's almost there. I'm going to continue stirring that a little bit. It's boiling pretty good, but not quite yet. I'm not going to start the timer yet because, like I said, this is very important. You want it to... I've got a timer already going. It's at 20:44. So when it gets to 18:44, then I will know. See, it's rolling, boiling. I got to stir it the whole time because I don't want it to burn to the bottom of the pan. There's a rolling boil. We've done 1.5 minutes so far. I'm sorry, we've done half of a minute. Keep stirring that. 45 seconds. About 30 seconds. Okay, we got 10 seconds. Pretty much. Maybe a little more. Okay, we are done. We're going to turn that off and move that. We are moving it off the burner. Let me put my camera back here. Okay, so immediately, this is very timely. I'm going to add the peanut butter first. So let's dump in the peanut butter. Let's let that melt. Melt into that hot mixture. I'm going to take my wooden spoon here now and mix the rest of the wooden spoon. And oats and vanilla. I'm going to do my vanilla next. Let's see, how much vanilla? 1 to 2 teaspoons. 2 teaspoons. 1 and 2. 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Stir that in. Now I'm going to get my oats. Remember, I'm not going to put all of it in because I measured out 4 cups. I'll put in a bit. Mix it up. See, this mixture is very, very gooey still. I want it to be a lot harder. I'm going to knead it all. So I'm going to mix this in. And you can already tell it's getting hard because that sugar mixture, the sugar and the milk and the butter and the cocoa is hardening up. When it cools down, it's getting hard. And I actually think, see, it's still pretty, I think I'm going to add a little bit more oats even. I kind of just got to play cooking by ear. That was probably 1/4 cup or a little bit more. Okay, I'm going to mix that in real good. And then we're going to drop this onto wax paper. Okay, so I have 2 cookie sheets here. I have some wax paper. I'm just going to put the wax paper on here. And another sheet of wax paper. I'm going to get a spoon. I'm going to drop my cookie. I'm going to drop my mixture onto the... There we go. This made, let me turn this. Okay, that's how many it made. I didn't count them, but that's it. And instead of eating one of the lovely cookies, the fun part is cleaning out the pan. There's all sorts of goody stuff in the pan. And if you are in a hurry and you want these to settle, a lot of times I put them in the fridge to get them to set faster. So let's go ahead and try and see how good this is. Yep, tastes like a peanut butter no bite cookie. Enjoy.